Which one?
Can you not eat my hair, please? So, we're heading to Perth. Okay, this is starting to get a little bit to a lot of annoying. These CROW tarps just won't stay on. So, what I think we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to cut more of the strips and we'll have to put them more closely together. However, we are currently doing a lot of other things. So right now, because the manure work is done, at least the major degree, the tanks and everything have been brought home and they're being pressure, which is what's going on over there. So currently Dante is doing that. However, that means that he is currently being used to do other things. So what I started to do was I started to do best I could yard cleanup. So picking up all of the garbage that's there and cleaning up those bales, I'm gonna have to do that as well. So that's what I'm currently doing. And I guess we're gonna have to fix the CROW tarps just the next time we get a chance. However, again, we need to cut more strips in order for that to happen. So God knows when that's gonna be done. I have a bunch of other things on my list that also need to be done this week. So hopefully it doesn't snow. Anyway, that's where we're at. Time to clean up. Gotta go. Oh no, he's got a hole. Oh, the poor thing. I'll put him with his brother. Oh, you're a bit more beat up than your brother.
There? Are you doing your job? Hi, Cookie. You too. Hi, Cookie. Are you ladies doing your job? Yeah. Hey. Good girl. Go, go, go.
Alrighty, so bedding was done this morning and currently I am on the hunt for drugs. We are doing the boosters for the groups we did a few weeks ago. And then we are going to give new shots for everybody who needs it. So I will show that. I'm pretty sure all the young stock that are not entered into the computer yet need their drugs. So unfortunately, they're not going to have that entered into the computer unless I do a separate entry. So yeah, let me grab the drugs and then we'll get going with the day.
I know where the drugs are. I wish you were a good sniffer dog. Too bad you're really not. Ta-da! Alrighty. Back to the barn? Yes, it's very boring. Come on.
It might fall down.
It's all clean!
Alright, that's that. On to night chores! And we still need to fix all the tarps, of course. But that will have to be done a different day. So, yep, that's that. Alright, so today is Wednesday. And a few weeks back, the brush in the main barn broke. So my dad ordered the new piece of the brush. To be honest, I don't know if that's actually the broken part of the brush, so we're about to find out because it came in. So my dad asked me to fix it, and I'm not entirely sure how. So let's go find out. Why isn't that going? Move. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with it. I've taken it apart because it wasn't going. I also turned the power off again, so it is back to how it started. So I'm gonna leave it here and I am going to make sure this fence doesn't fall down. And that's going to have to be that. I am up to date now! Yay! So now I'm going to run downstairs. I'm going to tag the most recent 2 babies and I'll put milk in the robot and then I'll come back up. I'll enter those goats and then we'll go from there. But yes, we're up to date. Wow!
Last 2 stickers!
So while that is updating, I am going to play with some Christmas things. So Dad got it working. Look at them having fun. Alright, so tonight is the Algonquin College's open house for the Perth campus. Because I'm on the PAC board, or the PAC board, I will be going there, and I will be hopefully somewhat advertising the program to the kids that are coming. Like, they already know what the program is, they're already interested, so I'm hoping I can at least give some kind of clarification as to like what they're going to learn and stuff, because I've been through the program. So we're heading to Perth, and we're going early so we can hit a few stops on the way. So let's go.
Everything that the story has told us so far in terms of the horror, which is these sounds are coming from the mountain, the Baraska, the skin men that we have not seen, they're all urban legends. They're all things that are passed down by man. And more of the horror comes from the tragedy of deception. It comes from the tragedy of loss. These are all very real. And it feels very impactful. It could be, I mean, so far it's reading as a drama, and the horror is the realities of being lied to. I think that within itself is horror enough, but yeah, I mean, do you want to take part 4?
Okay, so just while I'm standing out of the rain here, I just stopped at Perth Chocolate Works, and they had a nice little coffee, and then next to it there's a donut shop, and the selection was pretty good, not as good as I've seen in the past. However, the Perth Chocolate Works is definitely a nice little store to go into, and it's nice. The guy behind the counter knew much more about coffee than I did, so that was good. Yeah. The wool store that I originally went to, because my original plan to get my mom for gifts was wool. My sister is the one who makes things, so when I was looking at the wool there, I was kind of talking back and forth with her. And she was saying that nothing in the store that I was seeing there was actually normally what she A, worked with, and B, was within the price range that made sense. They've got some really, really nice stuff, but it just didn't fit what we need. And I'm sure that it's priced that way because like one of the blends I was looking at was an alpaca and sheep's wool blend, and that I know is probably pretty up there in price. So my sister has changed my course of plan on that one. I'm just going to buy the wool. She's going to make a sweater that she was planning to make before her house had burnt. So that will be that. And I've got the coffee to throw in as either we're gonna wrap the wool in the coffee in the wool or something like that, where I'll give it to her just as having a multiple thing, because it is both my mom's birthday and Christmas at the same time. So that's handled. Now, I'm thinking I probably have some time to go to an antique shop that I know. So let's go do that. Ta-da! Okay, I'm going to make this recording in my truck just because there is people outside, and that's good, but not often that I see that. So this is my favorite little, what I call an antique store and what Google calls an antique store, but I know is not an antique store. It's a flea market. However, it has quite a few antique items, or items that could be considered antique. So I love coming in here because there's almost always something new and sometimes you find like little special gems. One year I found a duck for my grandma, and it was honestly great. Like, she loved it, and the duck was positioned funny, and it was a lot of fun. And what I bought here last time was some pottery that I think I'm gonna give my sister for Christmas. So let's have a look and let's see what they have, because they might have something different than last time. But yeah, let's go. Okay, so I'm in the room where I found the duck last time, and as you can see, it's a little bit packed, but I found this. It's a wine carrier picnic box, and like, it's still got everything in it, so like it opens up nice there, and then when you turn it, look at it. It's got little napkins and everything too. Oh, I love that. If there's nothing else in the store, I might come back for this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the outer building here. There's nothing else in the store that I'm really interested in, but I love this little wine carrier, and I don't know who I'm going to give it to, or if I'm going to give it to someone. I might just keep it. But yeah, I'm going to claim this bad boy as mine. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm debating going into the other antique shop, but I think first and foremost, I need to eat this donut that I bought. Ta-da! It's a lemon one. I think it was named the Lemon Stand. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this, and then we'll check back in. Or we'll go to the other antique shop. I think we're gonna go to the other antique shop. And we're here. Look at the antique shop. Let's go! Also, the donut, it was good. Would have been much better warm, but also, yeah, it's just good. Those would match what I bought my sister already. I want to get the ducks so bad. I love them, but I can't see how expensive they are. Ah, it's too bad. So this might be my bad, but I did buy some pottery from my sister, and she knows, like, she has a certain kind of pottery that she likes, and I didn't know until I had already bought the stuff. So I already had pottery for her when I found out. I'm hoping she likes it. I think it's gonna be a long shot. However, I did buy one more thing to go with the entire set, and that is this. So I'm hoping my older sister is gonna appreciate and like the duck. However, the other pottery set I bought didn't have a duck. It had swans or geese. So yeah, hopefully that will go well, but fingers crossed, because I don't know. Anyway, that's that. Now onto the college. Okay, so the Perth campus in itself is where the Algonquin College Business Agriculture program is hosted. So it consists of one main building for classrooms and everything like that, and several buildings for study and such. The Heritage Carpentry also runs off of this campus, as well as a couple other programs. And then more recently, because they are running out of campus space on the Ottawa campus, they have been taking classes and kids from those classes and bringing them out to the Perth campus to use any potentially open rooms that are out here. Now, the downside of this campus, and probably the only downside, is that there is no residence building here. Although there is, like, town availability, I guess. Like, there's an open field away from where I'm talking about right now. like this is the main building here. There's lots of potential options on the far side of the train tracks there. It's just the college doesn't seem to want to do it, which is really such a shame because we can have so many more people on this beautiful campus. The town is fun, but it is more of a history and tourism town, so you kind of got to make friends with the locals. I didn't make as many friends as I probably should have, but I still had a fantastic time while I was out here. My landlord, he was an amazing guy, and I had a lot of fun in the program, as well as I did learn quite a lot. For the teachers and everything that we do have here, they are incredibly attentive, and they're all very much wanting us to succeed and wanting new people in the industry. And we have a lot of support within the community. So if you're looking at programs, the Algonquin College Business Program is 100% something you should look into. And I am biased, I will fully acknowledge that. However, like it's a business program focused on agriculture. Why wouldn't you want to take that? So, I don't know. Anyway, let's go have some fun. Okay, so while I'm in the street light looking like a crazy person, the night went really well. We didn't have as many people come out as we had hoped, which sucks, but at the same time, there's only so much we could do. So, with that said, I will say more when I get home because it is cold and dark, so yeah, let's go for a drive. Just give it to me! Therapy. And we're home! Let's do a quick check, eh? Bear?
Hey, puppy. Oh, you can't see, hey? It's all dark.
Well, they look good. Back to checking if the system is washed, and then I will do lights out, I guess. Oh, you're not done. Okay, I'll come do you in a minute. Let me put my truck away. I hear you! Okay, so since the wash bay didn't get done, I guess I'm doing it now. So, why don't I set the camera up and talk in general. So, there you go, you're set up. So, the night went really well. Less people than I expected, but apparently that's because they mostly show up during the spring open house. So the fact that there weren't that many shown isn't that big or bad of a deal, at least according to the people who were with me there. So that all being said, I had a lovely time talking to the few people who did come, and they were both lovely young guys, both of them in high school, and both of them have ag experience. One of them is from a farm, the other one has experience with horses and such. So they both have livestock experience, and they both have cropping experience, one with hay and one with grain. And again, talking with them was both, like, it was fun. And getting to tell them about the course and everything that I went through, that was also really fun. And then hanging out with my old teachers was also fun. Just like, generally, the entire night, I had a great time. So, I'm just gonna finish up with this, because this didn't get done. And then I'm going to take off my face paint and go to bed. So, that's been Thursday. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. But that's where we're at now. So, good night! I hate doing this in my own barn clothes. It's not fun. I look a little strange, I know. I have a headache and my headphones are squeezing my brain and it helps a little bit when I wear them like this. Don't ask me why. Anyway, so I'm editing right now, as you could probably tell. And I have come across the fact that on Friday, I didn't take any footage explaining what I did. So, on Friday, we gave shots of Disticil, which is selenium and vitamin E, to everybody in the wash bay, because as I've been watching, we've had 3 babies come down with 2 different issues. 2 of them have had joint issues or leg issues / muscle issues where they're tense on their back end and they're almost like tippy-toeing on their back end, and it's very strange and it looks very strange. And the other one that we had was another lung problem. By now, that being Sunday, that lung issue one has passed away. However, the 2 basically hoppy ones, they are perfectly fine and healthy still. Like, they're still, of course, hopping around and everything like that. They haven't recovered, per se. But the reason we gave that is because the movement and the symptoms that they're showing are similar symptoms to white muscle disease, which happens when you have a lack of selenium and vitamin E. Selenium and vitamin E you can get both from the soils in the areas that you're in. However, in our area, we're pretty deficient. So I was wondering, because those 3 babies were the only ones showing any difficulties and they were the only ones acting weird. So I was trying to think of things that I missed, and when I was driving on Thursday night, I had realized that maybe like I had missed something in the babies that I didn't even think of. So I went back and I checked, and normally we give that shot along with the Bovac and a lot of the colostrums that we do, but I had missed it for this round because our fridge in that room broke. So I gave everyone in the wash bay the selenium and Disticil, and the result is that they look just a little bit perkier. They don't look great. I'm not happy. I gave everyone who was off of milk the gland vac earlier this week, and they looked like trash. And then the ones in the back, they must have gotten sick with something. Even though I didn't give them the vaccine, I don't like how they look right now. I'm probably gonna continue doing something to fix that on the beginning of this week. I need to figure out a plan and then do it. And then, so that was Friday morning. And then Friday afternoon, I went back to the CROW tarps and we played around with those for a while. We took the CROW tarps off of all of the rows that we're currently using to feed out of, and we put them, like we put these strips and the strapping on the other rows, and took off the tarping off of the rows we're currently using. However, we had to leave the tarps there, so we still have to get the tarps off of the hill and fold the tarps as well. So in the next week, that's also going to happen. but I didn't get it done. So that's where this week stands. And we'll have to see how things go. But yeah. See you next week.
Except thunderstorm. Oh, what they go there? Yeah, thunderstorm.